Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madha, Jaya Radha Madha, Jaya Radha Madha, Jaya Radha Madha. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhava Ju ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Vishnu Paramahansa Paribrajaka Ashtottara Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Patista Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Shari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Gangamai Jamunamai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Haribo Shamaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Nitai Go Premanandi Haribo. Hare Krishna. So this morning we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 6, text number 29. This is conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kalpanta idamadyaya Shayaniyam Vashi Udvataha Udvanta Shishayashor Anupranam Vishyantaraham Vibho Kalpantaidam Madhyam Shayanam Vashi Udanvata Shishiyoranupuranam Vivishiyantaham Vibho Kalpantaidam Madhyaya Shayaniyam Vashi Udvrata Shishayoranupranam Vivishyantaraham Vibho. Kalpantaidam Madaya Shayaniyam Vashi Udvrataha Saishovanupanam Vivishyantaraham Vibho. Kalpantaidam Madaya Shayaniyam Vashi Udvrataha Shishayoranupranam Vivishyantaram Vibho Kalpatamidam Nadaya Shayanam Vasyam Vivishyantaraham Vibho Shayaniyam Vasya Undavata Shishashoranu Vivishyantaraham Vibho Shayaniyam Vasya Undavata Shishashoranu Vivishyantaraham Vibho Kalpantaidam Madaya Miniyambatam Vedatam Shishayoranupranam Vivishyantaraham Vibho Kalpantaidam Madaya Shayaniyam Bhashya Udanvata Shishayeshwar Anupranam Viveshi Antaraham Vibho. Kalpa Ante, at the end of Brahma's day, Idam, this, Adaya, taking together, Shayane, having gone to lie down, Ambashi, in the causal water, Udanvatta, devastations, Shishayashur, lying on the personality of Godhead, Narayana, Anupranam, breathing, Vivisha, entered into, Antaha, within, Aham, I, Vibho, of Lord Brahma. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. At the end of the millennium, when the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana, lay down within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter into him along with all the creative elements. And I also entered through his breathing. Please repeat. At the end of the millennium, when the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana, lay down within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter into him, along with all the creative elements. And I also entered through his breathing. Purport. Narad is known as the son of Brahma, as Lord Krishna is known as the son of Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead. And his liberated devotees like Narad appear in this world by the same process. And as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, the birth and activities of the Lord are all transcendental. And therefore, according to authorized opinion, the birth of Narad as the son of Brahma was also a transcendental pastime. His appearance and disappearance are practically on the same level as that of the Lord. The Lord and his devotees are therefore simultaneously one and different as spiritual entities. They belong to the same category of transcendence. Om Vishnupadaya Krishnastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namasti Saraswati Devi Gauravanicharini Nevashisha Shunya Paripashacharya Shatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. At the end of the millennium, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, lay down within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter into him, along with all the creative elements, and I also entered through his breathing. So, this is the dissolution. They're all entering back into the body of Vishnu, all the living entities, and Lord Brahma is also going. When the Lord decides to go back, or he's having his dream, and the breathing in and breathing out constitutes one. His breathing in and out constitutes a lifetimes of Brahma. So this is all. Everything here is on a universal scale. That's why it's difficult for people to understand when you're dealing with such times and distances. We're used to producing children is not a big thing. People are dying, we burn the bodies, it's not a big thing. But here we see the same things on the how the universe is becoming created, how it has some function, and again after that it all winds up again. You have any? Everything is wound up back again into the body of Vishnu, and all the living entities also, they enter into that body. But the ones we're talking about here, like Narad and the different sages, they're allowed to go along with the Lord. How the Lord, they're all entering into the body of Vishnu, some through his glance, some through his breathing. And so some can take advantage and go back with Brahma. They can enter into Brahma and also go back with him. Actually, they're going for a sleep. They're desiring a yoga nidra. Vishnu wants to sleep, so Brahma takes advantage also to have a sleeping period. But it's all on a colossal scale. But it has to be like that. If it wasn't like that, what's the use of being God? You expect if God says something, it's going to be outstanding, outrageous. Otherwise, what's the use of being God? So just his sleeping and awakening, it involves the whole universe. When he has a little scratch on his back, you can just about reach it, a little itch is there. But when Krishna has a scratch, the whole universe gets involved. And they're churning the Mandara mountain. All the demigods are involved, all the demons are involved, anybody who's anybody's involved with that. And just so the churning, the mountain can roll, or scratch his back. So he's back scratcher incarnation. So that's done through, like that when God does something, yes, you can. And if he doesn't do these ones, if they think it's too outrageous, then what's the use of being God? So, so some devotees, they are going in with they're maintaining their consciousness, proper consciousness. The other jivas who are here are in a rebellious mood. They're just forced to go through the whole cycle of entering back into the potholes of Vishnu. And but others are not there fortunate. They're fortunate that they're conscious of their position as the eternal servants of Krishna. Most of these Brahma, like Brahma and the demigods, they're the engineers of the universe, so they have a part to play. And so like that, then the creation goes on. But the materialistic people, they say it's just too much, it's just too unbelievable. But they also have similar things. They have something called, scientists, black hole theory. And it's a black hole, and everything goes drawn into that at the time of annihilation. So this is what we're talking about here. They've taken this from the Bhagavatam, the black hole theory. Everything is going back into the body of Vishnu through his pore holes. What color is Vishnu's body? Blackish. So he's black holes. So you're going, everything goes into the through his pores. The black hole theory. So that's wonderful. And they're but we take them further. So the devotees, they can go along. So Brahma is going along with all the rishis. And they're also entering. And and the other great souls, they get that opportunity to enter with Rishi. They're from lower planets. They're from Janaloka, Tapaloka, different planets, different higher planets. But at the time of when this dissolution, the destruction is going to take place, they can go up to Brahmaloka from Tapaloka and Janaloka. They can go up to there. They can go to Brahmaloka. So they're conscious that the universe is being destroyed because it starts to get a bit hot. Lord Anantadev is laying on the bottom of the ocean, and he's angry a little bit. God can get angry also. But the Lord Anantadev, he's a little bit angry that, we went through this whole thing of creating the universe. What was involved in that? And still these living entities, they all come out back into they were recreated again or expanded from the body of Vishnu. Just to give them a chance to become Krishna consciousness and go back home, back to Godhead, and stop this process of birth and death in the material universes. And still they're not going back to Godhead. They're still thinking that I'm very enjoyer here. This is the place for my enjoyment. I'm the Lord, I'm the enjoyer. So Anantadev, he says, stupid living entities. They have an opportunity. The Lord's gone to so much problem to set this whole thing going, this creation. And still they're not taken to it. He's angry. Okay, then go back again. And he breathes, the fire comes out. And the whole universe is blazing away. The demigods say, what's happening? It's getting really hot here. So they realize, it's time for the pralaya. So it's time for devastation. So these sages, they go up to the higher planets, to Janaloka, to Tapaloka, then to Brahmaloka. And there they go and they worship Lord Brahma. And then when Lord Brahma, he's going now personally, he takes them with him. So these are all, they're conscious, these ones are conscious. The stupid living entities who didn't take to Krishna conscious, they're not conscious of what's happening. So like this, again and again, and they are cast into different wombs again at the time of recreation. And again they are destroyed perpetually. Srishti Pralaya, Mahaprabhu would say, Srishti Pralaya, the creation and destruction, it's like this, it's the universes are coming. Do you ever discuss these things? They're like, so we are discussing these things here. Mahaprabhu came to relish rasa, Vrindavan rasa, not so much interested in creation and things like that. But still he tells his disciples, do you ever talk about this thing, creation and destruction, how it's going on? How many people do talk about it in the marketplace or anywhere else, any common man? Nobody even talks, even the so-called educated. Scientists, they don't talk about it because they have lack of information, lack of knowledge. Yeah, so they can go back with Brahma, but they're going to go to sleep anyway. They have a yoga nidra, mystic sleep, because the Lord is taking sleep, so his devotees also, they'll take mystic slumber until the time of the recreation. So, Krishna's teaching us that if the living entity is never killed, Krishna says he is never killed. So if he's never killed, that means he never takes birth. How are you going to take birth if you're never killed? If you're killed, you can take birth. So Krishna he's never killed, and he never takes birth also. But simultaneously, he does take birth. So, this is Krishna's greatness. This is Prabhupada said, this is called inconceivable, simultaneously one and difference. This is our philosophy that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to us. Krishna is simultaneously one and different from everything. The living entity is also one with Krishna and also different from Krishna. So the living entity never dies, just as Krishna never dies. He's trying to understand the personality of Godhead. Prabhupada was giving he was meeting with some poet, Irish poet, and he was a celebrity, I think. So anyway, he said to Srila Prabhupada, he said, now my father, he told me, who told God all those things? God knows so many things. Who told him? He said, my father used to ask me this question. So who told God? So Prabhupada said, no, first you have to understand God. Then your questions will be answered. So he said, now God is called Swarat. He is completely independent. He is not dependent on anything. And Prabhupada gave a nice example. He said, just like your father, he has a father, and his father, he has a father. If you trace like this back, when you come to that person who has no father, he is God. A very simple explanation Prabhupada gave. Trace back as far as you can when you come to someone who doesn't have any mother or father, that's God. So God like that is like Swarat. He's completely independent from anything else. So Krishna's, Prabhupada's as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, the birth and activities of the Lord are all transcendental. So they're all transcendental activities. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance here and my activities, he doesn't have to come back again and take birth in this material world. Then Krishna says, Janmakam Machami Divyam. One who knows, that is, appearance and disappearance. If you know the something about my appearance and activity, you don't have to take birth again. So Krishna just spoke just before that verse, a couple of verses before, maybe chapter 4, 5 or 6. Krishna says, when I appear here, I come in this material world, I appear in my transcendental form, which never deteriorates. And then like a couple of slokas later, Krishna says, one who knows the nature of my activities and my birth and activities doesn't come back again. So he's described some of his birth. One who knows the nature of my birth. I appear in my transcendental body. I'm not subject to birth like the other people who are forced to enter into wombs and take different bodies. When I come here, Krishna says, my body is transcendental. So, and one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not come back again. So Krishna just revealed it just before that. He said, my transcendental body never deteriorates. So that much you know about Krishna, you can go back to Godhead. One who knows the nature of my appearance and activities doesn't take birth again. Just before that, he told you this appearance. When I appear in my transcendental form. So if you know that much, you can go back to Godhead. Krishna doesn't have a material body, he has a transcendental body, he said. Really? Oh, you remember that at the time of leaving your body? It's something about Krishna's birth, that he doesn't take birth like, he has a transcendental body. Oh good, that's good. We can take shelter. We got a body of Maya, so at least we can take shelter of someone with a transcendental body. We can surrender to that transcendental body. And then the material body will become transcendentalized. It's like you put the iron in the hot fire, it's material, it's iron, but suddenly it's red hot and you touch anything burning. It's not iron anymore, it's actually fire. It's acting like fire. So like that, by service to Krishna, the body becomes like Krishna's. He's transcendental, and by this association, we get to understand also that we have a transcendental nature, just like Krishna. Same thing. Krishna says, "Man mana bhava mad bhakto." Become my devotee, Arjuna. Always think of me, worship me, to be my pujari. to offer me homage. 4 things Krishna mentioned: become my devotee, always think of me, do my puja, and yeah. So, if you know these things, you can go back to Godhead. Krishna says, I promise you. If you know not 3, not 4, even one of those things, you can go back to Godhead. Krishna's making it easy, he's not making it difficult. So just one of those things you do, you can remember Krishna, or you worship Krishna, or you just know Krishna. Oh yes, he comes in a transcendental body, he's not like me, he's not like you. So therefore we'll take shelter. So therefore you don't have to take birth again. Krishna, so many times he's given opportunities not to take any more birth by rendering service to him, becoming his devotee. Just like Krishna was there on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and Krishna said, I spoke this science of Bhagavad Gita to Vivaswan, the sun god, long time ago. And Arjuna said, how is that possible? We're contemporaries. I never saw you went to speak for Vivaswan, the sun god. How is this possible? And then Krishna said, no, many, many births you and I have passed, Arjuna. I can remember mine, but you cannot remember. Why you cannot remember? Because you change your body. But I don't change my body. Therefore I remember all my previous births. But you cannot remember. You were actually there with me in the sun planet at that time. But you had a body made of fire. Otherwise, how you can be on the sun planet, speaking philosophy to the sun god? Well, he has a body of fire at that time. But then he forgot, because he changed. When Krishna had another pastime, then Arjuna always goes with him as his best friend. So wherever Krishna goes, Arjuna goes with him, takes birth with him. Actually, this Narayan feature of the Lord. This is Krishna and Arjuna, Narayan incarnations. They're still here in Badrinath, performing austerities and for enlightening the living entities of this world. And so then they... so like this, Arjuna is the eternal friend of Krishna. He will go in a body exactly to satisfy Krishna's body, or Krishna's desires. So Arjuna expands to assist Krishna in all of his pastimes as his friend. And this is Shakiras. Shakaras, just like when Arjuna asked Krishna, can I see the Vishwarup? Krishna said, okay, have a look. Nobody's ever seen this before. It's an astonishing thing that's going to happen, this Vishwarup. Nobody's ever seen it before. And it's very rare. He said it, even the demigods hadn't seen it. But Arjuna said, Krishna, can I see that form? Krishna said, okay. Easy as that. You're my friend. Okay, I'll let you see it. But I give you the divine eyes. So the divine eyes were the demigod eyes. Not transcendental eyes, because he's looking at the material form. It's just a combination of three modes of material nature. It's different mixture of different elements. It's a material blob chunk. What interest do we have in seeing a lump of matter? That's all the Vishwarup is. It's a combination of different elements in the whole universe. So he doesn't need transcendental eyes to see the material form of the Vishwarup. But he has the demigod eyes. And but so he wouldn't get bewildered, because Krishna wants him as an eternal friend in equal friendship. When he sees his Vishwarup, he's like this. Krishna doesn't want to see him like that, because he's his friend. He doesn't seem scared. He doesn't want to interfere with his relationship with Shakyaras, or friendship, by seeing this wonderful. So therefore Krishna said, I only gave him eyes. I didn't give him mind of the divine mind to understand, in case he got bewildered. So I just gave the eyes, he could see it, but he didn't have the feeling of his eternal friend. So Krishna's much more interested in rasa. He doesn't want to interfere with that rasa, spoil it with too much awe and reverence. So this is the friendship Krishna very much likes, this is Shakaras. In Vrindavan, Krishna come to taste mainly these three of conjugal relationship, friendship, and parental relationship. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come to experience these and give others that experience. So, it's a very deep Krishna's friendship. When you make friends with Krishna, you've got a friend for life. He already is there in the heart. Om Madhavo Madhavo Vachi Madhavo Madhavo Hiriri Smanati Sarva Sarvi Sarvagurvesh Madhava. Lord Madhava is in one's words, is in one's mind, is in one's heart. Saintly persons will remember Lord Madhava in all their undertakings. So many times Krishna tells you, I'm in your heart, Arjuna. So Krishna has that eternal relationship as friendship with his devotee Arjuna. And there's one pastime that illustrates how deep this friendship can go. So Krishna, when he was in Dwaraka, sometimes he would go out at night time, in the dead of night. And Rukmini noticed that. So one day Krishna went out. So Arjuna followed him. Rukmini. She followed Krishna. And then Krishna said, who is that following me behind? Rukmini said, it's your first wife. He said, what do you want? She said, no, I'm not spying on you or anything like that. I'm just curious where you're going in the middle of the night. where can you be going? You've got everything. You've got 16,000 wives, so there's no shortage of. You've got these beautiful palaces, you've got maids, servants. I'm just curious, why are you going out in the dead of night? Because there's nothing you want. I don't see anything. You've got everything. So then Krishna said, okay, come with me. So then they went to a garden house. And they went inside, and Arjuna was inside. He was waiting for Krishna. But he had fallen asleep. And he was lying on a couch with a pillow on his head. And his long hair was spread over the pillows. And Krishna said, come here, Rukmini. And she came to the bed where Arjuna was. And Krishna said, lifted up Arjuna's long hair and put it on the ear of Rukmini. And Rukmini was hearing, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. She said, this is why I'm coming. This is my friend Arjuna. Even in his sleep, he's chanting my name. So this is how deep the friendships of Krishna go. And we can all have we do have one of these relationships by cultivation of Krishna consciousness, and they will be revealed by Krishna or by the devotees. So, we have a saying in the West, like father, like son. Like father, like son. The son is very much like the father. So here, Prabhupada mentions it. So the Lord and the devotees, they're like children, so like father, like son, so they take on the same qualities of the father. So here, like Lord Brahma, just as everything goes back into Krishna, Vishnu, he was also, he can go transcendentally. He's conscious of going back into the body of Vishnu. So, in many ways, that if you examine your own self, even you'll find that so many qualities of Krishna are there, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we find it within our own self that Krishna has these. That's why we have them, actually. We can't have any qualities without Krishna. Krishna is the source of all the potencies, and he reveals. So the good sons, then they take on the qualities of Krishna. So that's Brahma and all of his associates, all the rishis, and they're all good sons of Krishna, so they get the VIP treatment. They're not unconscious, they go back in to yoga nidra. It's all pastime for them. But the rebellious living entities, they don't have any conscious at that time. They're kind of unconscious in the yoga nidra also, but not the same kind of treatment. The devotees don't get the same kind of treatment like the asuras and the duskritinas and the Krishna says, I personally cast them into demoniac species. It's not that God is all good and he loves everybody. No, yes, he loves them and he gives them a process, but if you don't follow the process, then they're useless. They don't follow my words, they offend me. Why should I be merciful to them? But still he gives them another chance to come out again and start again. But the devotees are like his children, like his sons, and they get special treatment. Krishna takes care of you. He'll look after you. And that's his promise. If we follow his instruction. 9 o'clock by the bells. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Go Premanandi, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna. Any comment? Question? Hare Krishna.
I've been thinking, when from Mahavishnu's pores, so many universes are coming out, and I want to know if Hare Krishna. I would like to know if each universe coming from the pore of Mahavishnu has the same duration of time. I have this question because in Bhagavatam it is mentioned in our universe, our Brahma is the youngest and he is the smallest, and it is mentioned in the higher planets, and a living entity's intelligence is in proportion with his longevity. So more intelligent, more heads, and living longer. In that sense, so seems like a contradiction. Our Brahma is only 50 years old. He's the youngest among all the other Brahmas. But then if all the universe is coming out and sustained for the same period of duration, so this part I cannot understand. Please instruct me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, no, it's correct. But you said that this Brahma is, they're all growing old as well, you know. This Brahma is 50 years. Our Brahma right now is 50 years old. But he's going to stay another 50 years. He's going to grow older. But right now it's the 50th birthday of Lord Brahma. And yeah, there are Brahmas with 100 heads, 1,000 heads, according to their intelligence. And this one, yeah, Prabhupada said is the smallest one. He's only got 4 heads. And there's that story when Brahma went to Dwarka, was it? So he went to the palace of Krishna, and the doorman came and he said, "What do you want?" He said, "I want to see Krishna." He said, "Okay, you sit down and wait there on the bench." So Lord Brahma was waiting on the bench. And then the doorman came back and he said, "Which Brahma is it?" "Which Brahma?" "Four-headed Brahma of the universe. I'm creating the universe." "Okay." So he went back again and told Krishna. Then Krishna came and gave him an interview. And then after that, and Lord Brahma said, "But one thing I'm very curious, that your doorman asked me, 'Which Brahma are you?' I'm Brahma. There's no one else like me." There's no one else like me. There's no one else like me and Pankajangri. But there's difference, me and Pankajangri. We're the same with the difference. So Lord Brahma said, "No, there's no one like me. I haven't got a twin brother." He didn't say that. That he hasn't got a twin brother. But he said, "Well, how come you ask me how many, which Brahma am I? Are there other Brahmas? Then Vishnu showed him, so thousands and thousands of Brahmas were coming, some with 4 heads, some with 10 heads, some 100 million, thousands and thousands. So he was convinced. He was convinced that. Yeah, that is the Supreme Lord. There's billions of universes and billions of Brahmas. Yeah, you're right, what you said.
That is my confusion, because the different heads means they have different longevity, but the universe coming out, we suppose, same time coming out from the pore of Mahavishnu, and the same time all the universes are going back. That means if the longevity of different universes, Brahmas, are different, that means each universe also remain at different periods of time. So that is my confusion. What do you think about this? Like the 10-headed Brahma, he's living more years than our Brahma. And then the 1,000-head Brahma, billions of heads of Brahma.
And his universe is bigger also.
Yes.
The more heads, the bigger the universe.
So that means the pore of Mahavishnu also has different sizes. Or the universes can expand. Some expand a little less, some expand a little more. And the duration of each universe is different.
Yeah.
Oh, then I understand. Thank you.
The duration of each universe is different. Is that what you said? Well, they're all coming in and going out with the one breath of Vishnu. Half a breath. This universe lasts for half a breath of Vishnu. I'm not sure. The duration of... What you're saying is it... is it set by that breath? That everything goes in with one breath? That's what we're saying. Is it?
The time for breath is fixed. Because it's only like half breath. The half breath, this time we suppose is fixed time. But each universe has, the Brahma lives different like time scale. Then how to understand? So it seems like a contradiction.
You got the answer? Okay.
In this connection, I heard Srila Prabhupada say that every Brahma has 100 years lifespan. Now the difference in the number of heads is because, as you rightly said, of the size of the Brahmanda that they have. And so the more number of heads is because of the more ability they need to take care of that Brahmanda. So the duration of their life, as you said, they emanate at about the same time or different times also, and they go back also, but their ability is different. But their lifespan of 100 years is more or less the same.
But the question is, why say our Brahma is the youngest? I'm aware of whatever you said.
I don't know where you heard this, that he is the youngest. He has the 4 heads, and ours is the smallest Brahmanda. Ours is the smallest Brahmanda, but whether he is the youngest, I'm hearing for the very first time.
It's, Prabhupada uses that example, it's relativity. Brahma lives for that whole duration of life, and the little insects, Prabhupada said these insects come out at night time, flying around the light. In the morning they're all dead on the floor, but they were a lifetime, they had a lifetime. They were born, they reproduced, they did a little bit of activity, and they died. So it's relative, he said, that for them it was a lifetime, and Lord Brahma, for him it's a lifetime also. Here's something coming from the internet, yeah? Nobody usually does this. They used to do it more often. That we get letters from. When Sri Krishna appears on earth, is that transcendental form? When Krishna appears on the earth, is that a transcendental form? Yes, that's what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, the 4th chapter, that we were quoting. When I appear in my transcend. I'm not forced to appear. I appear in my by the agency of my transcendental nature. So Krishna's form, he keeps the form. He doesn't change his form. Even when he comes into the material world, his form is not changed. It's a transcendental form. Another question, during his appearance here, which form generally people could see? During his appearance here, which form generally people could see? Which form they could see? Oh, it's as Krishna, they saw as a child when he was in Vrindavan. Then he became a king, and then he was sometimes in Dwarka he would show forearms just to inspire the Kshatriyas in there. Every day they were going for their parliament meetings and discussing. So sometimes Krishna would show 4 hands. We've got the Jayati Jananivasa Deva Ki Janmapad. We got this Krishna who's the who was born in our family. The Jadu dynasty are thinking Krishna was born in our family. They're so proud to have that. Oh, the Jadu dynasty, the Vrishni dynasties, Krishna's. They were very proud that he's the actual super soul. The super soul has taken birth as Krishna in our dynasties. So Krishna was sometimes one to enthuse them, so he put another 2 arms out, 4 arms, show 4 arms. So then they could see. But generally, so the Krishna as a boy, his different childhood pastimes and his youth, and then when he became older, he became more serious. When he was a boy, a little kid, he would steal things and do naughty things. When he grew up, he became very serious about establishing his mission on the Earth planet. So he was a king, he had great responsibilities, he had wives. And so he's that type of Krishna. They saw the Jadu dynasty and everyone saw these different forms. In Vrindavan, everybody saw the others. In Mathura also, they saw Krishna's form, childhood form. Kamsa saw him also. Yeah, he reveals his form as he is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's our ultimate object of worship. Our ultimate object of love is Krishna in Vrindavan, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as his followers. that our Ishtadeva is Gopinath. Nahambra Chondanapati. I'm not Brahmana Kacha Vaishya Suja. Brahmana Praskriyas, Sannyasi, Brahmacharya. What am I? I'm identifying myself as the servant of Sri Krishna, the master of the gopis. Master means Nat, the Lord. Nat, and Gopi means Gopi. So Gopinath. He is our ultimate Ishtadeva for those who follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Govinda is our deity of Seva, Abhideya, and Madana Mohan is our deity of Sambandha. We'll make a relationship first with Madana Mohan. Then Govinda, service is revealed. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness movement is based on Abhideya, the process of devotional service given by Rupa Goswami. So Govindaji, he gives us seva. And Gopinath is Krishna is there, what's he doing? He's just playing his flute, surrounded by gopis, and dancing, whatever he wants to do. So he is our ultimate object of worship. Prabhupada said, we don't want to enter into the light of Krishna's body. We want to enter into his dancing party. So that's... So that's our destination, the followers of Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada. Ultimately, we want to establish a relationship with Krishna, engage in his service, and especially his dancing party with Krishna, which he does every night. So we have a very good future. Next destination. Okay, thank you very much. Who is his name? No. Thank you for your nice question.
She likes to know, since Narada Muni is a pure devotee of the Lord, and he is eternally liberated, then why he has to go back to the Lord's body? That means all the living entities, they also have to stay. Even after liberation, you have to, when Vishnu is sleeping, you have to go inside to experience that yoga nidra. Every living entity, they have to go back to the body of Mahavishnu, and during his sleep, we also sleep, even after liberation. Because Narada, he can even go to the spiritual world. Why he has to go back to Mahavishnu's body?
He's doing it as a service. Mahavishnu is going to take rest, so everyone else takes rest. Where is he going to stay? The whole universe is going to be annihilated, or partially. Where will he stay?
Maybe she's thinking he can stay in Goloka Vrindavan.
But he'll sleep in the mood of service to Mahavishnu, who's going yoga nidra. Okay, we'll take this opportunity. Serve the Lord by also everyone goes in yoga nidra.
And what about us? When we go back to Godhead, what's going to happen?
Krishna wants you to go back. But you have plenty of time while the universe is active. That time you can go back. But now the time is up. Everybody goes back into Vishnu. Before the universe started to be destroyed, you asked Krishna to take you back to Golok. Otherwise you're going to have to go back and wait the next time you come out again. So everything has its time and place. Okay, Hare Krishna.